Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me. It's assessment evening, and a few of you have given me great pleasure of uploading some photographs to the Flickr group. So thanks very much indeed for that. We're going to come straight to those in a short while. I was just in a little bit of a rush right at the end because I wanted to get the book out, book of the week. This one is quite an old book, but it's been around. It's worthwhile getting. The title? A World in HDR by Trey Ratcliffe. This book will take you through all the steps of creating quality HDR photography. And it's not just HDR photography that Trey does. He implements that and adds layers in Photoshop on top of his HDR work. So it's really worthwhile getting that book. It's available on Amazon. Don't know the price, roughly. I think you could probably get it for around about £25–30, probably a little bit cheaper than that now because it is quite old. But hopefully you enjoy that one if you're into HDR. If you're not into HDR, it's still worthwhile buying because it gives you very good tips on Photoshop work. I'm hoping that a guest is watching this program from South California, Lisa Speakman. So, Lisa, if you're watching, all the best, and you know what I'm talking about. We'll talk later. Further to that, let's get straight into the assignments. And the assignment, if you remember, was to produce or publish a photograph in the Flickr group, one in aperture mode, one in shutter mode, and one in manual. So I'm going to go straight to the Flickr group, and we'll have a look at what's been uploaded. And there's been some very good photography loaded. You know, I really appreciate you guys joining me on these workshops, but you know, I don't think there's really much to sort of add to what you're doing your work. It's really very, very good work indeed. So hopefully you can see this now. Looks like you can. I'm going to go straight. I'm going to do my set first, get it out of the way, and then we'll go to the guys. So I don't want to sort of pick on anyone at the outset. So the first one off here is the manual shot, which I've taken here. This was a trumpet player outside Charing Cross Station. It's a little bit of a cheat, I would hasten to add, because yes, it is manual, set at f6.4 on the aperture setting, and the speed of the camera, the shutter speed, was set at 1/10 of a second. But the flash was set to go off on the rear curtain, and that was set at the sync speed of 1/80th of a second. So in actual fact, I've frozen the action of the trumpeter, but as you can see, a little bit of squiggly light lines at the back, and that is basically when the shutter has been opened, that has moved, the flash has caught the bugler there playing, and I've got a very crisp image of him. But it is in manual. It's just a little cheap with regards to using the flash. I thought you'd like to see that one. The girl next door is the next photograph of a good friend of mine, Alex Lambeck's wife, Jasmine. This is the aperture shot at f2.2, 1/25th of a second on ISO set at 200. As you can see, I focus straight on her and blur in the front on the brick wall to the right, and then further on the left-hand side, the other side of the door opening where she was posing for other photographers. We were in a workshop at this particular time. I really like this image. You can see the strands of her hair is really nice and crisp and sharp. I did a little bit of work with regards to changing the tones of the image, just to sort of give it a little bit of a sort of a, I don't know, an antiquated type look. But I was really pleased with that. She's a great model. Oh, that's one which my friend Peter popped in, so I'll just go to the other one, which I've got to show from my first set. This one is the shutter option. This was down at Greenwich, close to Cutty Sark in London. I decided that I wanted to catch all the birds in their different flying motions and activity, and not blur them. There's a couple that are blurred there, but generally they're quite sharp. And the people on the short jetty there were throwing some food up for them to feed. I'll call this one feeding time. f7.1, 1/480th of a second on the ISO set at 200. And as I say, it was really just to capture the birds and all their different flying motions of wings out and crumpled wings, and they got the pigeon there and the seagull. So I was quite pleased with that result. So they're my three. And so I'm going to go to the first person who uploaded some images, which was John Dalton. Thank you, John, for uploading. Great set of images. Photograph taken here is the shutter priority version, f9 at 1/8 of a second, ISO 400. I'm going to guess at the top of this that probably this is handheld and no tripod was used, or maybe he's lent the camera on the banisters looking down on the station here. I'm not quite sure which station it is. It looks like Waterloo, but that's a guess. You've got the motion perfectly, John, with regards to people moving. You're showing blurred movement. I really like this image, to be honest with you. So well done for that. But one thing, you know, I really find it interesting when you take photographs of people that are walking. Look at the still leg of every individual that is walking. Almost 100% sharp, and the other movement of the other. So just goes to show you, at one stage, part of our body is not moving when we walk. So I find that interesting, but a lovely shot. Perhaps you could have waited for a few more people to come into the image, but hey, you've met the priority, the criteria for this shot, showing your shutter skill. Well chosen. The next image, this is your manual shot. 1250th of a second, f9, ISO 200. Yeah, you've really worked well here. I think you've just slightly overexposed the water, so it hasn't gone grey as we discussed that time with when the sensor tries to get that grayscale of the image. You've got a lovely white foam of the sea there, nice white clouds, a little bit of whispery blue, and another very, very important point here, you've got the horizontal, the horizon level. And that's well done indeed. There's so many times you see images where photographers have just got the horizon on the tilt slightly, and if you don't pay attention to that in the editing stage, it can, well, it does, it ruins the shot completely. So well done for that. Good work with the manual setting on your camera. I know you've said to me you use manual quite a bit, so again, well done for that. Lovely shot. And finally, the aperture priority shot, f4, ISO 100, 640th of a second. Now, a lot of people would have said, well, why didn't you go to f2 or something like that? But of course, if you'd gone to f2, you would just had the first petal and the rest would have been blurred. So you've gone to f4 and you've given the plant a little bit more of an opportunity to show sharpness in it. So you've got the stem and the buds. And then, of course, the brick wall in the background, totally blurred out. Great background. Tighter crop, maybe? Argument on that, I suppose, but I would leave it as it is. It's a great shot. You've met the criteria. The one thing about this wasn't to show fantastic images. The idea was to meet the criteria of the assignment: shutter, aperture, and manual. And this one sums up aperture 100%, as John's image did as well. Shot of a teapot. I've just been talking to the photographer, Peter Beckett, today. I know where he took it. Well, his wife went and bought some cushions, which is great. He took this in the shot with his new lens. Superb. Got the teapot there, nice and sharp, blurred in the front, blurred in the background. And this just goes to show you what you can achieve with 56mm 1.4. This is a 56mm Fuji, which in actual fact has a 1.2 aperture opening. But he's chosen 1.4 at a 100th of a second. Great shot. Well done, Peter. Met the criteria beautifully. Good lighting as well on that. And then Stephen, who sent me a sort of a frantic email this afternoon saying he couldn't upload his images, but he found a way of getting them on. So well done, Stephen. This is really a very, very delicate photograph, isn't it? Very delicate of some kind of how would you call it? Something like a wheat leaves maybe, and he's chosen mono. Again, he's got the blurred out background completely. I'd like to see a little bit of sharpness in the feather, but hey, you've met the criteria again. Aperture 1.8, shutter speed of 1/6400th on the 50mm lens, ISO 100, Canon 7D Mark II. Well done. It is, as you said, went for an abstract image. It's a nice abstract. I really like it. Maybe just a little bit of sharpness required in the center here, but you can't have everything. But again, it's not the point of creating a perfect image in this assignment. I just wanted you to meet those criteria, as I've said before. And this shot is, well, I could have this one on my wall, quite honest with you, Stephen. It's a lovely shot, beautifully sharp railings. You've used the shutter speed supremely well. Let's just check here. Half a second, f16, 18mm, ISO 100, 7D Mark II. I can't fault that. I think that's a great photograph. Thanks for posting those up, Stephen, and making the effort at the late minute. I really do appreciate it. It's great. So yeah, basically you guys you've done it. You know, you've met the criteria, which is great. Really enjoyed seeing those images. Let's hope next time a few more of the guys who are on the workshop on a regular basis put their images up. I think sometimes a few of you were thinking, oh, I've got to make sure they're great photographs. That's not the point at all. Great photographs will come later when you've practiced, and that's the main thing. Practice, practice, practice. So yeah, thanks for posting those up. I really enjoyed looking at them. We'll set another assignment in a few workshops time. I think probably the next workshop we're probably going to do a little bit more detail on Lightroom, and we'll see how we go with that. I've got a few other things I've got planned for this workshop to expand it just a little bit more, but I've got to have some discussions with some people on that, because I think it'd be worthwhile that it's not necessarily me all the time that does the workshop. I think it'd be nice if some other guys got involved. Just a little bit of an add-on. I went up to the photo show yesterday up at Birmingham. Had a really nice time up there. A good day for me. Met some good friends of mine up there. Good networking as well for me. So stay tuned for that, because I'm really hopeful that I'm going to be able to develop this workshop into something a little bit more detailed, and perhaps, you know, who knows, we can probably spend a day together and get a decent workshop going together, person to person, rather than it being online. So that was one other thing which worked out. Saw some great gear. Fuji stand I thought was super. I am a bit Fuji biased. I do apologize other users, but they got some great equipment. I checked out some paper as well, some really great paper on the photo speed stand and on the Permajet stand, which you may be interested to check those out. And they're really coming up with some great material now, really photo quality material. You got material, the metallic type finishes, luster, mattes, glosses, all sorts of, and then of course, not to mention, you've even got things like canvas material as well, which you can print off from your desktop printer. So, and that's another aspect which I want to try and get into in the future with regards to the printing aspect, and that is in itself a total Pandora's box. So yeah, I thought the photo show was good. I was a little bit disappointed with a certain way that some manufacturers treated people that they wanted to have a look at their gear. They wanted information, but the agents on the tables didn't really know what they were really talking about, which was quite surprising. That doesn't account for Fuji. All the Fuji guys knew exactly what they were talking about. And what in actual fact was a really tasty part of the Fuji, you could got your camera's firmware upgraded as well on the spot. So I was really pleased about that. So I had a great day up there yesterday. Thank you so much for doing your assignments. I've got no criticism to make of any of the work. Everyone met the criteria. I thought this show was going to go on a little bit longer because I thought I was going to have to say a little bit more about the images, but they're all great. My favorite has got to be Stephen's at the end there. Funny enough, I was in a place similar to that, Stephen, down in Padstow a couple of weeks ago, where there was one of these outdoor swimming pools close to the sea, and that is exactly what it reminded me of. So yeah, that was really special for me to see that. So it's really a short show. Hope you can join me next time. I think we'll do some Lightroom work next time. We're going to show you a few more tricks that I'm familiar with, and with a bit of luck I may be able to get in touch with someone who knows a little bit more than just Lightroom and other things. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate you uploading. Keep uploading your images. It's going to go back to 2 a week now. You've had the 3 for this assignment, go back to 2 a week. And then the next time there's an assignment set, I'll put it back up to 3 for your publishing. So thanks again for watching, and all the best. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.